Good afternoon. This is Jenny Gee coming to you on this beautiful Friday from in my backyard. And I've been thinking for a while, I wanted to talk about grapevines because I have a ton. As you can see, I have a ton in my backyard. And when I was out here walking around, it was probably about a month ago or so, I was really surprised to see kind of the difference. And I'm going to turn the camera around here and show you sort of there we go, that's a better view. All of the daylight that's above me right now, and then kind of how the grapevines have pulled down the trees around here. You get a good view in there, and trees that are down. And it was something I wasn't expecting to see when I was hiking about. It just, everything seemed to be more daylight, and it was a very different look. And so it got me to thinking just about the patterns that follow in nature. So grapevines, you've probably seen grapevines in the woods near you. They're really common. They do indeed grow, the grapes and the leaves that you're familiar with as being grape leaves on them. They'll flower in May or June, and then the fruit will come around in July or August or so. And just a very great source of food for birds, especially because as the grapes are up higher, the birds can get to them and eat them. And then through eating and ingesting the seed and pooping out the seed, they tend to spread all around. So there's life cycle right there. But it also was making me think. I remember when I was in high school, I went on a project in somebody's backyard. They had a bunch of us go, and we were cutting the grapevine down, and we were like pulling and hanging on them and yanking them down. We got a lot out, and the property owners had a fire going, and they were burning them just because it had really taken over their backyard, and they wanted to have a little bit of just the trees not having them on there. Which, in retrospect, is that the best thing for the birds? No, probably not. But we didn't get rid of all of them. But they are really important as part of the ecosystem, right? So I wouldn't ever come and remove mine. Now they're coming down on their own, but I'm sure that they'll grow back up. But how do they grow? So one is new plants will grow from the birds depositing the seeds, right? But also, if I was to take and cut them at the ground where they're growing, they would, if they had good, it was in a nice thick forest, they wouldn't grow because they can't grow in the shade. So they would eventually just die away. But if they pull down a whole bunch of the trees like they have here, and they come down as well, they'll continue to grow up anything else that they can creep over to and find, and make their way back up the trees to get to the sun. And that's part of why, they're up there doing that growing. And I always find vines to be so incredible because, and I'm sort of looking here, I'm gonna walk over to this spot here and turn the camera around. And if we look, this is a good example. If you look like right in here, and you see how that is super curved, right? And it's twirly. There is a method by which, so I'm going to try and explain this using my hands. I'm going to sit back down here. There is a method that vines will use in order to grab onto fences or trellises or trees or whatever it is. And they send these tendrils out. And depending on which side has contact with something, so if the tendril is growing straight, my pointer finger is the tendril, and it has contact with something, the cells on that side that are actually in contact, that are feeling the touch of something else, grow shorter. They don't develop as long of cell growth. The ones that are on the outside that don't have contact with something grow longer. So then what would happen is you'd get that, and then they grab on and they grow around. And that just makes you go, wow, that's so cool. So the grapevines are all part of this forest ecosystem, feeding the birds, clearing out areas so other plants that need sun have sun now. We have this whole area behind us that used to be, thicker woods. Now it's opened up. I'm excited to see what might sprout and grow here this summer. Grapevines are doing their thing. They're providing food. They're changing the forest landscape, and they're doing all their own little cool growth with their tendrils. And it's just something to sit back and enjoy and be wowed by. What a creative, amazing world God has created for us to enjoy and live in. And not to mention how delicious grapes are, right? The benefit that we get in eating something that tastes so good. And I so often think when I'm eating food that comes from the ground, that God has just gifted us with a bounty of tastes. And that's something to truly be thankful for. We could get just as much nutrition if everything just tasted like cardboard, right? But we've been given this gift of delicious, beautiful colors and wonderful tastes. And I think that's something to be grateful for. So I hope you have a good weekend. I will see you on Sunday. Bye.